Negroes vote for in the coming election?
I wouldn't suggest that they vote for any party or either party. I would suggest that the so-called Negroes become politically mature, realize the power that they hold in the field of politics, and then once the person who is running is aware that this man is awakened to the power that he holds, then that person who is running will approach that Negro on a more intelligent plane. As it is right now, most of the Negro leaders sell out to the white politicians for crumbs. And an awakening, a political awakening among Negroes will make it impossible for the present Negro leaders to sell our people out as they've been doing in the past.
So you do think Negroes should vote?
Negroes should do whatever is necessary to bring about a complete solution to their problem. When I say whatever is necessary, they should have the flexibility to do whatever is necessary to solve the problem.
You suggest that
it's almost as if trying to target, harass, and shame Black people for not voting in this country is continuing to deny and suppress their political power that they have been going without since the beginning of time. It's been this way for a while. Even like Malcom X was talking about it. Even Malcom X was talking about this. And it's still an ongoing theme of every election. And this is exactly what Malcom X is talking about, in that African Americans should feel as though they can make the best choice for them politically. And if abstaining from voting altogether because neither party is representing their interest or paving the way for them to participate in the democratic process or giving them the full rights to their political power, then they should absolve themselves from the democratic process completely and not bend the knee to any major establishment party if they are refusing to accept and acknowledge the lack of political power and the lack of access to the democratic process that African Americans have had to deal with since the beginning of time, literally. And so, yes, if Malcolm X were alive today, you know that he would say, don't feel as though that you don't allow white liberals to vote shame you. Do not allow members of the Democratic Party who is already in a privileged position where they get to talk down on any marginalized or disenfranchised person and try to shame them into not voting because they are sitting right in the middle. They see what's happening with Donald Trump. They see the fascist tendencies that are starting to manifest under this administration. They see the marginalized and disenfranchised communities. They have the vantage point to be able to use and weaponize these fascist tendencies against the marginalized and disenfranchised groups to try to mobilize them and motivate them into voting. And that is what Malcolm X would come in and say, don't allow these people who are up here to dictate what you do if you feel as though your power has been suppressed and voting in this election will not change a goddamn thing about it. Where was I? Do you feel that people shouldn't vote? I think that if we're listening to what Malcolm X said in the 1960s, I'm assuming, 1950s, 1960s, and that there is no added value to the Black voter casting their vote, casting their ballot, whenever it is almost a guarantee that there will be no change in their material conditions, there will be no redistribution of political power back to Black communities, there will be no fundamental change whatsoever. And so it's in your best interest to find other means to try to achieve political power and change your material conditions and the material outcomes of your community. And if it's by other means outside of the electoral process, do that instead. Is basically, and I concur. That's what I mean.
A change in the game, rules are for kids. Wanted to play, but now I'm on the sideline.